We had a record-breaking month in March. We are going to break down the numbers next and also talk a little bit about going full-time since March was the last month as part-timers.
Welcome or welcome back. My name is Edine. This is my beautiful wife Melinda. Together we're known as Hustle and Hooks. It's our monthly recap video. So once a month we go through all of our numbers and we are transparent with you.
That's right. Like the intro mentioned, this was a record-breaking month for us. Very excited to break these down for you. We're going to do a bit of a different format this time so you can actually see the numbers as we're breaking them down. And we're also going to talk a little bit about how this was our last month as part-timers.
Yeah, and the expectations for going full-time, going pro, I guess. We're going to use that fancy whiteboard, insert fancy whiteboard here. And then we're going to go ahead and show all of our numbers, starting with gross sales and just breaking it down through a couple of averages so you can see what our actual taxable income is and, you know, do whatever you want with that information. I think it should be information that you can use to inspire yourself and maybe think about doing this yourself.
3 records that we broke were gross sales, net sales, which of course is always the most important, and our number of sales, which just sort of makes sense.
Okay, first one right off the bat, we sold 310 items this month, which is a record for us. The previous record, if you would like to write that underneath it, was 274. So we did, what is that, 36 better than our previous record? Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, 36 more sales in a month.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Of course, you know, the funny thing is our 274 came last month in April and we had a couple of fewer days, less to sell, obviously.
You mean in February?
February, sorry,
Yeah.
What did I say?
April, you were going forward.
You know, I'm a forward thinker. Perfect, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the gross sales amount. And so this is, let me pull it up.
Dun, 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 dun.
I want to mention quickly that you can get all these numbers yourself by utilizing our spreadsheet. The link is going to be in the bio. I'm not going to talk about it much in this video, but it calculates everything for you. Your gross number of sales, approximate fees, net profits. It's a little bit of basic Excel skills that you need and you can have everything ready. We know already how much we owe in taxes roughly because we already know our Q1 numbers. That's my pitch. Link below if you want to look at it, take a peek. There's videos about it. Take a look. Have a nice day. All right. Gross sales. So we sold $15,627. So just a little bit north of 15,000, and our previous record was 14,000. So we did $1,600 better.
Which is a lot, really. I mean, that's a few days worth of work in the same amount of days. So that's great.
Yeah.
Excellent work. High five on that.
High five, indeed. Yeah, so that's a brand new record for us. And of course, we're going to smash it in April because we're professionals now. But that's pretty darn good. And remind you guys, we did these numbers while I was working full time. Melinda was working on eBay part-time plus, so she had 3 days dedicated when we had somebody watching our kid. And then I would work on this whenever else I could. And we just kept pumping out the work. And that consistency is what led to the record.
Yes, always stay consistent.
So let's talk about some of the expenses we had. So the first one on here is of course going to be the shipping cost. So we offer a free shipping model on all of our items except for Poshmark at this point. And it cost us $2,122 in shipping.
Which sounds high when you just read it off, but when you're comparing that to everything that you sold, I think actually that's a very reasonable cost of doing business. You can't avoid shipping. If you want to be in e-commerce, you're going to have to ship.
Right.
So I think that's a very fair expense for us this month.
Why are we paying for shipping, Melinda? And why would we take our money and just waste it on shipping?
Well, it's not wasted, Adine. We do have a free shipping video. We talk about it. We go over the why we do it. Basically, it's to be competitive in the e-commerce business. When you are dealing with big companies like Amazon where it's built in, you really want to build that in as well, because I do this if I'm shopping somewhere that's not Amazon. then I'm filtering by if I'm going to get free shipping. You still build it in. It's not necessarily free, but it's not an added expense. Plus, we get the discounts through eBay that the buyers do not get.
Right.
So if you leave calculated shipping on, then they're going to actually pay more in shipping and they'll be more attracted to free shipping.
Right.
Now, of course, as a disclaimer, our business model doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
If you do calculated shipping and that works for you and you're very happy with your numbers, then great, no change needed. That's just what we do.
But if you want to increase your sales, that's something you really need to think about, especially for products that you know the rough shipping cost. For example, everything under a pound typically ships for $5.40 or less. Everything like shoes and jeans are typically going to ship from $7, $18 up to $12. So you know all of these expenses. And of course, that calculated shipping also depends on your location worldwide, right? If you're watching this from Australia or Japan or Canada, it's much different than Grand Rapids, Michigan, basically in the center of the United States. So just keep all that in mind. Again, link down below for the free shipping video. Check it out. We don't actually pay for the shipping, guys. That's the point. It's built into the gross sales price. So one expense I forgot to mention was cost of goods. So we're gonna pop that up on the board real quick.
Which is a big one.
Huge, right?
I mean, so you got to buy the stuff to sell it.
You got to spend money to earn money, we've heard people say. So the cost of goods sold was $2,552. So in other words, it took us an investment of $2,500 to get to $15,600 in gross sales.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I mean it's a fraction. It's of the, roughly, if I'm doing the math in my head, 15,600 sold, you take out roughly 5,000, so that leaves us still with 10,000 minus approximate fees, and we're almost to the net profit, which is obviously the most important.
Right.
Speaking of fees, so do you want to elaborate on the types of fees that we pay per platform and what platforms we currently sell on?
Right. So sometimes we hear people complaining about fees. We don't mind paying fees. And the reason is it's just another cost of business to be on these platforms that already have dedicated bases of customers.
Right.
So on eBay, we pay about 13 to 14% in fees. We do promote all of our listings at 1%. We count that in our fees calculation. Yep. On Poshmark, it's a flat 20%. Usually they will pay shipping. And then on Etsy, it's 5%. Facebook Marketplace shipping orders are also 5%.
Yep.
So what we tend to do when we're doing these numbers is we average that.
Yep.
So what we're giving you is our average percentage to do business on those established platforms. And your fees, they use those fees to provide customer service, give you the shipping discounts if you're on eBay or Posh too. They have contracts with their carriers. So that's what you're paying for. Some people may or may not feel that's worth it, but that's your choice to do business on those platforms. And if you do want to, then that's your cost of being there.
Yeah, it's your entry cost. You get millions of potential customers. You pay fees for that. I mean, it's common sense. You don't have to build a website. You don't have to direct traffic. It's already there for you. So up to you. If you don't want to deal with fees, then have a garage sale every single day and do cash transactions, but you're going to get 7 customers instead of 7,000 customers. Right.
Or build your own website, and then your other cost might be in marketing and promotion then, which we don't have to pay because the companies have already done that. Exactly. With your own website, you're going to have to figure out how to drive people there. So you can think about that as the balance, right? You don't have to pay marketing.
Very well said, Melinda.
Thank you.
So approximate fee, so 13% across the board. This also includes some local cash transactions, which are obviously zero fees, so that brings your average fees down. The approximate fees that we paid for the entire month of March was $1,867. And now we can calculate our net profit. So net profit, of course, is going to be before taxes. Any type of business you do, you're going to get taxed on your net profits, not your gross. We don't pay taxes on $15,000. In fact, we're not even going to pay taxes on all of our net profits because we still have deductions. Who can they turn to, Melinda, to find someone, maybe an expert that can educate them about taxes?
Definitely not us.
Not us.
Go find yourself a good CPA. A lot will do consultations over the phone so they can get a feel for what your business is, and you can work with somebody who fits your personality, fits your needs, fits, you know, what you're doing as a business owner.
Yeah, and there's plenty of them out there that have experience with resellers, with Amazon, with eBay, with Poshmark, with this business model, so they know exactly what they need from you. So don't ask us questions about taxes, consult a CPA. So with all that said, our net adjusted profit, now this does keep in mind any returns or adjustments, was, drum roll please. I think I can edit some drum rolls in here.
I hope so.
$9,034.
Real small.
Real small. The most important is the smallest. So just a little bit of over $9,000 in net adjusted profits for 1 month reselling as part-time plus folk. Do you see why we're going full-time? Because the potential is out there.
Yeah, so if you think about that as a normal bi-weekly paycheck, and then you split it down the middle between Adine and I, because equality, that would be like each of us is getting $4,500 of our salary per month is what we would be earning, which would be about $2,250 every 2 weeks for both of us.
Plenty for us.
Yeah, that's like a $80,000 to $100,000 salary.
Yeah, plenty. So let's talk about a couple of things that we like keeping track of. The first one is the average sales per day. This month it was pretty easy. We sold an average of 10 things a day. Now, does that mean we sell 10 things every day? No. We had one day where we sold 19 items, and we had another day where we sold 4 items. So it's an average. I've told you guys this before, you have to look at the long-term average. Don't dwell on one bad day or 2 bad days, or rejoice after one great day. It's all about the average, and we're really happy with that.
You can go ahead and rejoice. You can earn those good days.
No happiness allowed.
Keep your head down and keep trying to make every day a great day.
Yeah. Be happy, but keep going. Don't stop. Another record we actually didn't even mention was the average gross sale amount for the month was $50.41, which is awesome. The best we've ever done. So does that mean that every single sale that we have is over $50?
Of course not. Once again, if you're wondering what an average is, it's when you take things, you add them together, and then divide it by the number of things that you're adding up.
That's right. That's the average. So keep that in mind. We had some great sales, a couple $300, $400, $500 sales, and we had plenty of $20, $25, $30 sales. The most important thing about this number is the next number down, which is the net average sales month, and our goal per month is?
It's always around that $30 mark, which means that we're putting $30 for every transaction into our bank account. That's what we want to see.
What do you think it was?
I think, well, you seem very happy, so I'm going to say $31.28.
I love the optimism. $29.14.
All right.
Which is another record. So $29 per transaction. So every single time we hear the cha-ching, and the other platforms don't even have noises, which is really disappointing.
I know. Sometimes I don't even know that I've made a sale on Facebook Marketplace until I go and check my notifications.
Yeah, that's sad. We like the cha-ching. So every single time we cha-ching, that means that on average we're making $29.14 net taxable profit. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The most feared, the hated, the worst thing that could ever happen to you as a reseller. Returns.
Returns.
Gross. But don't you guys deal with returns? Aren't returns awful? No, they're not bad at all. In fact, this is one of the best months we ever had. We only had 3 returns. That's 1% of our sales. Usually we're around that 2% mark. So that's pretty awesome. Very, very happy with that. Molda, do you want to share some tips of how you can reduce your return average?
Yeah, we talk about this pretty frequently. Of course, you want to be honest in your listings, disclose any flaws, and just do a really good job of taking your photos as well. We straight up just zoom in on any flaws on shoes, on pots, pans, anything like that. And we also disclose it in the description if there's like a dent in the lid, anything like that. Because if it's written in the description, they can't claim that it was an item not as described, which you get a ding for on eBay.
Right. One tip I'll share is making sure that you're not gambling with electronics. Electronics are a great thing to resell. You can find them almost everywhere, including your own home, garage sales, estate sales, etc. But you cannot gamble with them. If you don't know how to test it, if you don't know how it works, utilize YouTube and figure it out. You cannot just continuously shoot in the dark, shoot from the hip and say, oh yeah, I tested it, it's fine.
Right.
You have to know that it's working, and that's one great way. So
if you don't know, you're gonna have to price it lower and disclose that. And like if it's a rare electronic or a really vintage one and you don't have a way to test it and you're not sure, but they sell for, let's throw a number out there, like $800.
Sure.
Well, if you sell it for $500, someone's gonna get a deal and they can probably take whatever the balance is that they would have normally paid for a working one if it's not working and get it fixed.
Yeah.
So that's your alternative.
And if you don't know, like Melissa said, describe it, let the folks know, but just don't gamble, because what's going to happen? You're going to ship it out, you're going to be excited, and chances are it might not be working. So just make sure that you're not gambling. Clothing wise, just make sure you're putting in all your measurements, again, describing any flaws, how it fits to the best of your ability. That's the key. Your job is to gain trust from your potential customers, and the best way to do that is clear titles, good descriptions, very good photography, and being very transparent with your audience, your customers.
Yes, and that includes on questions too. If you get a follow-up question and you don't know the answer, just tell them you don't know. You can say, well, this is the specification of the product, or this is how it is. I can take more photos if that's helpful. I can take another measurement for you, but don't put yourself in the position where you're going to tell them a black and white answer that you don't know.
Right. Or direct them to more information.
Yep.
Hey, I'm not 100% sure, but here's their website. Hey, I'm not really sure about that, but this is what I know about this product. In my opinion, this is ABC. So state it that way, not certain. Unless you are 100% certain, don't tell them.
But even sometimes you get that with shoes, or people want to know if it's true to size. That's a difficult one to answer, because there are lots of different foot sizes, lots of different 8s. Someone might think it's small who's an 8. Someone might think it runs big if they're an 8. The reason is because shoe companies as well as clothing companies aren't really accurate across the board. So let's talk about our long-term expectations and also just our next month's expectations, because if you watched a previous video, Adine is
a free man.
Yes. So it's his first month joining the crew and working full-time on eBay.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, so expectations for April, we are committing ourselves to 600 quality listings for the month. And we're aiming for north of 20,000 in gross sales for the month, which should give us roughly $10,000 or more in net profits, depending on how good we are minimizing our costs.
Yeah, and we do have a little bit of organizing and everything that we're leading up to that as well, but we're still going to leave that as our goal. Hopefully we hit it, and if not, that's going to continue to be our long-term goal.
We're going to hit it. For sure we're going to hit it. I mean, there's just going to be nights where we're just going to have to power through it, even though, you know, we're really trying to regain balance in our lives, but there has to be nights where we still sacrifice and push, because this is not the time to let go of the pedal. This is the time to go for it, right? So
yeah, especially because right now we do, you know, coming off part-time plus, caring for a kid, he's been at work, there's a little bit of catch-up that we're doing to sort of streamline our systems. And of course we still have our garage going on. And everything is just sort of cyclical in nature, right? You have to get one thing done before you do the next thing. So that's all sort of up in the air as well. So we're tackling that project, tackling getting caught up, tackling establishing systems, the garage, the backlog of inventory, and of course, trying to get that 20,000.
It's also very difficult for me to be next to my wife all day, a beautiful, attractive woman. So I have to condition myself to make sure I'm staying focused.
And I've never had my butt touched so much at work.
Tati just farted.
It's so gross.
Oh my God, what timing. Anyways, we're gonna air out the house now. It's a good time to end this video as we escape the fumes of our
Thank goodness we had some windows open.
70-pound dog.
So bad.
Disgusting. Anyways, if you enjoyed, had a laugh, enjoyed our numbers, enjoyed this format, hit that thumbs up for us. It just helps us grow the channel. Subscribe if you are not a subscriber yet. It also helps us grow the channel. It's free for you to do that. It just tells us that we're doing a good job, and we would really appreciate that from you.
Yeah, and let us know if that format helped. We tried to sort of gear it towards people who are also more visual learners and visual absorbers too. And of course, the goal of these videos isn't to brag and say this is how well we're doing. It's to provide a realistic expectation for people who are thinking of starting their own small business, their own small company, e-commerce, specifically is what we do, and sort of the goals that you can achieve. I mean, the sky's the limit. We're not even close to being top of what people sell per month by any means.
We're small birds.
Yeah, we're
small
sardines.
Fish, for sure. And the other thing too is just to educate you about numbers in general, how they work. And although we're not tax professionals, we're pretty good at this, and we are very good at understanding our numbers. We've been tracking them from day one, and we understand that this is the fundamental of any business. So we want to share everything we know with you guys and hopefully help you, because hundreds and hundreds of you have reached out and thanked us, and so we just want to keep doing it. It's literally free education, and we have a great time doing it, and we do appreciate you guys as always.
With that said, we will see you on the next one, guys.
The adventure continues later.